Welcome back to the Bricks. We are joined by Pat from the Pin High podcast. He's jumping in to give us some help with our PGA Championship preview going golf specific this week. It's the first and technically the only major this golf season because of COVID-19. Pat, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's been 12 months since the last. It's been 54 weeks, so it's been longer. So, I'm just excited for another week. The golf's been so good since it's come back, and to see a major now, I think we were talking about on the pod this week. It's a little weird without the fans, but me personally, I don't think it's really taken that much away from golf. I think it's taken a lot away from baseball. Um, but golf, I think it's been fine. I mean, you're not even used to like at the Travelers Championship Thursday in Cromwell, Connecticut, you're not seeing more than I don't know, 1,000 fans there anyway. So it wasn't that bad so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a second. Can you kind of introduce us to your podcast? I'm sure some people are familiar with them. I know you guys are on the rise, but if you could just give us a quick breakdown of what you guys do and what you guys talk about.
Right. So we're under the network of Golficity. They're a golf media company, pretty big on Instagram, YouTube. We started in November, I believe. We cover PGA Tour news, golf talk in general, and we do a lot of daily fantasy sports picks and betting picks. We're at the Pin High Pod on Instagram and Twitter. The Pin High Podcast on Apple Podcasts, any podcasts.
Perfect. Let's jump back. Let's jump right in. Let's start with last weekend at the WGC St. Jude. Who do you think had the best week and why?
I mean, it's easy to say Justin Thomas since he won, but a guy that went under the radar was Tom Lewis. I'm not sure if you saw him up there. I mean, he had a 9 under 61, which is like a course record on Saturday, which is pretty impressive. So that led me to, I actually bet him over Webb Simpson on Sunday in a matchup. He was plus 180. So, Tom Lewis, I think he finished either T2 or T3, and I like him going into this week. He's a great player.
Absolutely. What about Rickie? We saw Rickie for the first time. I mean, he's been make a cut, miss a cut, not really striking the ball well with the irons. What can we take away from Rickie playing mostly good, but doing the Rickie Fowler not finishing it on Sunday thing?
I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot you can take away from it because it's just so predictable at this point. I think on a different scale, Rory McIlroy is a lot of the same. I think Rory McIlroy obviously has had a much better career with majors and tournaments and everything. But it's just they both are some of the most overrated players in golf, in my opinion. Rory is a lot better than Rickie, I will say. I think the COVID break really hurt him. He hadn't finished outside the top 5, I think, in a tournament up until then. But Rickie, I don't know. He's definitely, in my opinion, the most overrated player in golf. I'm not going to say I don't see him doing well this week. I don't see him winning at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rickie's a guy that, barring a couple victories here in the next couple years, is going to have to maybe play on some sponsorship exemptions. So I think he's going to have to start winning some golf tournaments at some point.
Yeah, no, I mean, he won the waste management last year, but since then he hasn't. I mean, I don't know about sponsorship exemptions, but sometime within the next 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the way he's playing.
Yeah. So other than Rickie and JT, who do you think is going to carry some momentum into the PGA this week?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Brooks Koepka is a big name. I think Brooks Koepka, he's Brooksy Majors. He doesn't miss during the majors. I think it was really big that he had this week for him going into this stretch of golf that's going to be just insane to watch. You got the PGA Championship, U.S. Open. Unfortunately, the Ryder Cup's canceled, but you got the FedEx Cup playoffs, which he snuck into the top 125 for that. But one guy I'm looking at this week outside of the Brooks JT combo that everybody loves is Webb Simpson. I think Webb Simpson obviously is 2 wins this year, one of only 3 guys, I believe, with that. Its other 2 are like Brendan Todd and JT. He's a great ball striker. He is top 20 in like pretty much all the big stat categories. And one of the big things that I like from him is that he's number 1 this week in par 4 efficiency from par 4 is 450 to 500 yards, which is going to be a lot of the par 4s this week. And yeah, I think Webb Simpson's a great pick this week if you're looking to go a little contrarian from everybody who's going to pick Brooks Koepka.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw this crazy stat today that every time that Brooks has played a major since 2017, that he played in an event the week before, not even played well, just played in it, he has won that major. So, that's pretty good. Like you said, Brooks doesn't miss, right? I mean, he's going for a three-peat here at the PGA, but he doesn't miss, and I think it's a little scary to see him like flip the switch last week and decide like he wanted to play a little bit. They said he was working on the swing. He doesn't put in a lot of practice or anything. But.
Yeah. I mean, like he'll be leading a golf tournament going to Sunday and be late for his tee time almost.
That's right. He got in Rory's head when he did that though, so that was
exactly. Great. I mean, he's 11-1. I don't think that's that bad, to be honest. I think last year at the PGA at Bethpage, I was watching him during a practice round there, and he was plus 850, which is like terrible odds to bet on somebody to win a golf tournament, considering it's a 175-man field. But I mean, I bet it, and it won. So I mean, I don't think you can go wrong this week betting Brooks Koepka.
Got it. So jumping from Brooks, there's a lot of guys at the top of the odds board who are kind of head scratchers and a little bit. So whose odds do you think are too good to be true?
I think Rory's. I think Rory is always at the top of these lists that the odds that come out every week, especially during majors, he just jumps up, and I think that is fair considering majors just the top guys turn it on. But I think Rory's just I don't see him winning this week. He's not playing good golf, and the odds are way too low or high, whatever you want to call it. Another guy, I think Tiger Woods is an interesting one this week. I mean, I don't think you can go with a PGA Championship preview without talking about Tiger Woods. The thing I like is he's been there since Sunday. He's obviously taken it really seriously. The concern is his back, and the concern is that he's barely played any golf at all, like tournament golf at least. So Tiger Woods is somebody that you might put like a feeler out there because you're betting with your heart, but betting with your heart obviously is not the best thing to do.
Yep, that's great advice because I always bet with my heart. My guys are Jordy and Tiger Woods, and recently they haven't been good bets. So,
It's not a good thing to do. It doesn't mean I don't do it.
Right.
I love betting with my heart. The Nets are playing the Bucks right now. I'm a huge Nets fan. They don't have their 3 best players that are in the bubble. They don't have Kevin Durant. They don't have Kyrie. They don't have Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan. I have a $20 to win $210 bet on them, and last I checked, they were winning by 7 and going into the 4th. So we'll see.
There you go. It's fun to be a fan, and then it's fun to have money on the team or the person that you're rooting for too. So It's a lot of fun. So who do you think? You probably alluded to this a little earlier. Who do you think the best bet of the week is?
Do you mean to win the tournament or in general a golf bet?
Give us both.
Okay, so winner, I'm gonna go with 2 because I think that Brooks Koepka, like I've said, is just like you can't go wrong with it. But I also love Webb Simpson for the reasons I just stated. But for an actual golf bet, I was talking to Beat in the Bookie earlier today. He was talking about one of his friends that does something with the tour and something with like club fittings. And Hideki Matsuyama is nursing like a shoulder injury that's not very public right now. And Colin Morikawa is minus 110 to beat him in a tournament matchup this week. I think that's easy money.
There's some inside knowledge right
info.
there.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
Inside info right there.
Inside info. So we kind of talked about this a little earlier, but Rory literally is at the top of every betting board ever when it's a major week.
Right.
Is it just because he's easy to put money on because you just think he always has a shot, or why do you think it is that he's always towards the top of those boards?
Because Vegas. I feel like Vegas knows that they'll just get a bunch of sucker bets on Rory McIlroy, because anyone and everybody is going to be betting on a major championship golf tournament, especially during COVID when nobody has anything else to do. And that's some easy money for them. And then they don't have to pay out very well if he does win. That's just one way to look at it, but yeah.
Yeah, you get those guys who don't watch golf, and then they oh, there's Rory. I'm gonna throw a bet on him.
Guy. I mean, it's hard to blame Rory for not doing it right now. I mean, at some point, where's the motivation? I mean, he gets $3 million in endorsements every year. He gets money for showing up to tournaments and making the cut, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I can't blame the guy. He's making a lot of money. So, so as we look at this, there's a lot of big name, good players kind of in the middle of the pack on the betting lines, stuff like that. I know the stuff I got, Jordan Spieth's 50-1, Finau, those guys, some of those bigger name guys. Who is the best middle of the pack guy to bet on to win the whole thing?
I think Gary Woodland's a good one. I mean, he played at Pebble Beach last year at the U.S. Open and won. And similar conditions, and you're hitting through marine layer, that thick San Francisco, Northern California air. It's a good ball striker. Another one, I mean, so he's a good bet. I'd say Morikawa is kind of middle tier. Morikawa is one of the best young iron players we've seen since Tiger. And what was the other one I like? I think Tommy Fleetwood's being very undervalued. I don't know what his betting odds are, but I know his DraftKings salary is $7,600, which is pretty damn low. And I had some stats on him. I'm forgetting what they are, but he gained 2.8 I think strokes with his irons this past week, which is a very good improvement considering he's a little rusty because he didn't play in a lot of the starts in the return from the tour, but I think he's definitely a good one because he's a little undervalued for how good of a player he is in majors. And a little tidbit on him: he's really good at scoring low on these hard, difficult courses. He played Shinnecock Hills the other week and shot a 65, which is, if you guys remember, the winning score at Shinnecock Hills at the U.S. Open 2 years ago was +3 or 4. So
and his caddy shot a 76, I think it was, either 76 or 78. I mean, that's not too shabby either.
That's pretty impressive. I didn't see that.
That's pretty. Yeah. I guess that kind of snuck in on the picture of the scorecard, is that he had shot in the 70s as well, which is kind of casual.
That is casual.
I'm gonna throw in a little
tipped out, but during a major tournament.
For sure.
But still.
Well, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say that they've played Harding Park at a lower score than what you're going to, they've shot in the 80s, but it's such a different course this week. Tighter fairways, longer rough, really cold in the morning. So let me give you just a kind of off the cuff here, head to head. Whose back lasts longer, Jason Day or Tiger Woods?
This year or in general?
Just this week, with the cold and the marine layer and everything. Who do you think either one of those guys has back issues this week?
Good question. I feel like I'm going to go with Jason Day's last longer because he's been playing some pretty good golf recently. Now, I don't know how the conditions really go affect that. I'm 21 years old. I don't have many back issues, so I don't have very much expertise on that. But I'm going to go with Jason Day. I think he's been playing some pretty good golf recently, surprisingly, considering he's just been pretty much a non-factor over the past year. But yeah, so Jason Day, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, we'll take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and talk Tiger and Brooks, and we'll see who Pat's got winning it this week. But we got to talk about our guys at Precision Pro Golf. Justin, the guys making rangefinders in Cincinnati. See, Jordan Spieth has Michael Greller, and most of the time he gives him the right number. But you don't have Michael Greller out there with you when you're just playing. So make sure you get yourself a rangefinder. Make sure you use code BRICKS20, BRICKS20 at precisionprogolf.com.
We'll jump back in. So we've talked a little bit about Tiger. I'm a big Tiger guy. I've watched Tiger my whole life. Love him. How does he fare this week? And then same thing we talked about with Rory. Are his odds so high because of the fact that Vegas just knows people are going to see Tiger Woods and bet for him to win a major?
With Tiger, yeah, a little bit of the same. I mean, Tiger's always – because also, I mean, Tiger's a freaking fantastic golfer. I mean, his back holds up, and he plays his game. He makes the cut. There's no reason. I mean, he's gonna have to get out to a hot start. I feel like Tiger's had to do that since his return to being in his form that he is right now. So I think if the back holds up, I'll please Tiger fans here. I think there's a shot. I don't know if I would put down a bet on him other than if I'm just betting with my heart. I love Tiger as well. But, yeah, I don't know if I see Tiger taking it this week.
That's fair.
What was the other one you said?
It was just why are his odds so high, and then how does he fare?
Yeah. Same reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he does have good course history here. He won the American Express or something like that here in 2010-ish. And then in 2009, he was the leading scorer for the U.S. in the President's Cup there. Also, that was 2009 Tiger, so a little bit of a different player, a little different back issues. So, I don't know. But good course history. He knows the place. He knows pretty much everywhere, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that Tiger's going to have to play a major without fans, because call what it will, he's the guy that has everybody following him. It's got to be different for him. You got to wonder
if that fires him up or distracts him. I don't think he would admit either one. But yeah, that is an interesting way to think about it.
I don't know if it was JT, but there was another player a couple weeks ago that said that they think Tiger starts with a 2-stroke disadvantage because of the crowds. Thought that was a really interesting take.
I think, if I had to lean one way, I would say that because it's definitely distracting, and at times if he hits a bad shot, he has a gallery watching, trying to get as close as they can to that ball that's almost out of bounds. He has to fit it through a tight window without killing a fan.
That's so true. That's so true.
I'd say that's an accurate take from Justin Thomas. Yeah, I've never heard that one.
Yep, that's good. So we've talked about Brooks. It's a major week, so you have to talk about Brooks. Does Brooks only care about majors? I mean, at this point, can we assume and be safe in our assumption of that?
Yes and no. I think Brooks definitely cares about the majors a significant amount more, but I think Brooks is also just a little petty when it comes to if Bryson DeChambeau says something about him or if Rory says something about him. I think it's not so much the majors as much the motivation that Brooks needs. I think if somebody slights him, or if a media reporter, before the week at WGC FedEx St. Jude's, it was how's it feel to be playing such bad golf? He's like, I'm still the defending champion here, aren't I? And then he comes out, shoots whatever he does on the first day, 7 under or something, first round leader. I think it's more just he competes out of spite.
Yeah, I think that's the wild thing about Brooks too, is we see guys in other sports who do that. The newspaper clippings or the tweets and stuff but in golf you don't really ever see that. And Brooks is the first kind of guy that stuff ticks him off and
exactly
fuels him. It's it's a different dynamic with him. And then we've talked about it. He's got the best odds, or at least top of a lot of people's lists here. How does he fare? Does he win it? Does he finish top 5? What do you think?
I would lock in top 5 for sure. I feel like Brooks is definitely going to come top 5, top 10. But, I think in my opinion, he'll be in that top 3 contention, and then it's really going to be, can he finish? And, Brooks does have a history of doing that, so we'll see.
No. Yeah, so now I think all three of us are going to pick a winner for this week. That's how it's going to go. So, Pat, we'll start with you since you are the expert here. If you have to pick a winner, who are you picking?
Let's go with let's all decide. Let's all agree that Brooks Koepka's a very good pick, and I'm just not going to go with that because I'll go a little contrarian here. It's Webb Simpson in my opinion. He's, for all the same reasons I said, I think Webb's one of the most solid players on tour, especially at a course like this where it takes a lot of course management. At a major, at a hard course, 72, 100 plus yards, I think Webb Simpson's the pick.
Nick, who you got?
I'm going to say the same caveat. I think Brooks probably wins it, but I'm going to go with Xander. I feel like Xander's always there when it matters. He's not been tip-top shape recently, but he's been in the top 20s, top 30s. So I think he's a guy that's ready to go this week. He strikes the ball so well. And I think a key this week, you got to move it left and right off the tee. A lot of dog legs this week. I like Xander.
Xander's a good one. I like that.
I'm going to go, you guys talk, striking the ball, all that kind of stuff. That's for you guys. I'm just going strictly off watching with my own eyes. I'm going with Morikawa just because I like what he does. I like the way he plays. He seems to go about his business. And as much as we say it, the ambiance of a major is normally how many fans there are, the pressure that's put on you when you're in the last group, everybody following you, that kind of thing. Doesn't have to happen this week. And so a guy who's going for his first one, I think it makes it a little easier, to be honest. So I think he's got a good shot to go out there and do something. And I like the way he's playing.
And Morikawa is a guy that, strikes the ball very well. So
there we go.
Absolutely. He fits that bill too. Well, perfect. Does. Well, thanks, Pat. Thanks for joining us. Make sure that you check out Pin High Podcast. I know they're doing some great things over there at Golficity, so just make sure you check them out. Follow them on Instagram, do all those things, and we will catch you next time back on the bricks.